Thank you very much. The idea that pharma companies will increase their efforts to conquer diseases seems very great. Of medication is in an early diagnosis. It often got a very effective, most effective treatment. This is one of the topics where AstraZeneca is concentrating. About 2 weeks ago, we had in Israel a huge shipment of a vaccine, but their connection, AstraZeneca, began 14 years ago. Then they decided to get deeper into clinical research and investment in remote and digital medicine, believing that Israel can contribute to this world of medicine. To hear how this can be done, I'm glad to invite the CEO of Gulberg, of AstraZeneca in Israel. Good evening. I wish to thank the Ayn Rand Foundation and their partners for the opportunity to speak with you on this occasion. It's a great pleasure to speak not about vaccination in this kind of event, but of what we do. We have to look forward. In recent years in Israel, there is a real change occurring with all that has to do with innovation in health. And this is not happening in void. The report of Israel Innovation Center said already in 2014 that the regulatory barriers delayed significantly the ability to develop this kind of freedom, and that health systems in Israel have lagging behind in analytical elements in order to use large scale of revenue. The report said, I quote, the abilities for breakthroughs in medicine call for a development of the environment that will allow the infrastructure for this kind of research together with integration and research processes and treatment. This was in 2014. In recent years, AstraZeneca, together with many other global factors, pharma companies, international ones, researchers and investors understand that Israel is a very interesting country regarding innovation in medicine. They are involved in processes of innovation that are occurring here for many reasons. Israel, the professors, is the sandbox of data. I did not invent it. Everything is documented for three decades about all the citizens. 4 HMOs have about 89% of the citizens, and in Clalit and Maccabi, there are data about 4 out of 5 citizens. There is all these data. All those that deal in the area, is that Israel is almost the only country in the world that has this. AstraZeneca is acting in the local and in the global level, together with the state and many parties in many ways, out of the wish to advance our position in Israel as an innovation center. This process was accelerated when the coronavirus started being here. The pandemic shed light on the need for innovation and the need of telemedicine, and it made a great contribution for the raising of the awareness of the importance of this topic. So beside the COVID pandemic, there are other unique characteristics of Israel and the ability for research, and also in medicine. Just a short anecdote, in Israel, the medical innovation and patents is the largest in patents in the world of medicine. And this is amazing in itself. When we join this to strong culture of voluntarism, made them call us Israel a startup nation. Israel, from point of view of potential in health, relevant to pharma companies in the world and the entire ecosystem. But we heard about problems in innovation in health as well, and they concentrate mainly on the gaps between the quality of the science, of the information and the data, and the Israeli entrepreneurial scene, and the need to go through many hurdles that we have to overcome in order to get to success, setting up a company in the right manner that will reach the medical system and the patients. Moreover, building a big company that will endure. Another difficulty is the brain drain that we have in this case, trying to find beyond while. Our flag is actually one of collaboration, the Israeli startup in digital health company. 1 out of 3. It is a strategic partnership with a few key players in the ecosystem that can work together to track down young companies, create significant value that will increase the chances for success. The idea beyond Biome is that each one of the startup companies in the digital world gets knowledge and information from us, Zenzka, and the other partners like VC funds and hospitals that are part of the programs. Our part in AstraZeneca is a deep mentorship in the medical sphere and in the global spread and of the epidemic itself or a certain disease. We have participation of many startup companies that come up with an innovative solution. They help them close down gaps for execution. Beyond Bind has an early tool to diagnose chronic need of the chronic degeneration of the kidneys. The artificial based on partial data to identify and diagnose the CD disease. Kidney disease. Actually, this prevents patients to come to dialysis and overcomes the problem of early death. Kidney disease. The personal of the medication through intelligent and digital pathology, a review of and additional solutions that are critical to the health system, and one they will save life. An important activity in addition, which is declared today, is in our innovation center, Ion Labs. It's actually a laboratory for a promotion of artificial intelligence, developing of drugs, medicine. Actually, it's a laboratory that we have together with the state and the innovation center. We have invested $32 million with the key players that decided to cooperate and collaborate in coming up with solutions. Besides AstraZeneca, there are other 3 very famous pharmaceuticals, Merck, Pfizer, and Teva, an Israel biotech fund, and the technological of DW. The goal of the lab is to help promoting a new startup company that will develop new computational systems and come up with solution personal treatment of patients. AstraZeneca, this is the artificial intelligence center, the only one in the world, actually set up in Israel, and this is a revolution in itself. The model of the work of the lab is flexible. They identify challenges and come up with solutions. The team of the lab, together with the partners, will find the innovative and the best solutions that are expected to get the funding for 4 years from the state and from the pharma companies as well. Actually, the lab will not only be a support for those growing, but will allow for setting up companies with authorship that will reach a serious success and will create a lot of health later on. These 2 core activities speak of innovation with a commercial view for the future, but we have another kind of innovation, which is our work in the Sheba Center that has been held for the 2nd year. We call other medical systems in one of the best companies, hospitals in the world. Data that exists from the year 2004 and serves as a way for innovation. As part of this cooperation, there are projects every year, and AstraZeneca supports them and supports many other activities. For instance, combination of a visualizing thing of a person released from hospital as a tool for the doctor who releases the patient and allows it discharges the person to go home, and taking care of different kind of cancer. Another fascinating project speaking about telediagnosis of a patient with smoking problems, breathing problems as a result of smoking, that will allow for a better quality of life for these chronic patients and some other projects. Here the goal is to help with a medical hospital to have better medicine, so not through startups only, although even startups exist there and went out of this place in the past. This is our example that through strategic partnership of players from the various angles of the research study can also elaborate. Astrahzenica understand that we are a player in the field of health and we have an important role to help the patients. Something which is important is seeing the future is playing with those actors in the present, because we cannot do anything by ourselves only. So this is a time of great challenges and great opportunities. We believe in AstraZeneca that our is looking everything transversely and longitudinally, understand the world of medicine, connect it to the markets and to the investors, direct them to the right studies, to the right areas, and come up with all kinds that will come from different pharma companies, will get the technology that can maximize our success. Thank you very much, and all the best for those who are declared the winners.